Curious. This chart shows the pricing tiers for a typical B2B software product. On the left, you have a standard $20 a month subscription. On the right, the exact same software, but priced at $2,000 a month for enterprise customers. That is a massive 100-fold markup. Many assume that price jump pays for a massive upgrade in core features. In reality, the actual software the end user interacts with is identical across both tiers. To understand the markup, we have to look at who actually buys the software. In large organizations, the target isn't the team using the app, it's the Chief Information Security Officer, or CISO. They are the ultimate gatekeeper. If your platform lacks an enterprise-grade admin hub, the CISO will kill the deal during the security review. The software won't even reach the users. Moving up market requires a shift in development strategy. To command enterprise pricing, developers must set aside a feature-centric mindset and build for total administrative control. That administrative control rests on 4 specific pillars. The first is enforced two-factor authentication, or MFA. Hackers routinely use automated scripts to test thousands of stolen passwords against corporate networks every second. It is a relentless brute force numbers game. Making two-factor authentication optional for employees creates a fatal vulnerability. A single weak password from one employee can compromise the entire organization. The countermeasure is simple. Administrators need the power to mandate two-factor authentication globally across the entire workspace. Doing so stops automated credential stuffing attacks immediately. The rule of this pillar is binary. If a user does not have two-factor enabled, they are locked out, period. The second pillar of the Admin Hub scales that security up. It's called SAML Single Sign-On. Large companies use dozens of different software tools. Expecting employees to manage separate passwords for all of them leads to weak credentials, forgotten passwords, and lost access. This diagram illustrates the fix. Instead of managing separate logins, SAML integrations, like Okta or Azure AD, allow the IT hub to verify users centrally. It functions as the single authoritative gate for every identity in the organization. This process strips login authority away from the individual employee. The IT department now holds complete, centralized control over exactly who accesses the platform. These first 2 pillars move the security burden off the user. Access control shifts from a basis of individual trust to a basis of enforced corporate policy. Preventative measures cover daily operations, but the third pillar handles worst-case scenarios, like a compromised device or a sudden employee termination. It's called global session invalidation. Administrators need an emergency response mechanism. This acts as a literal kill switch that IT can trigger in a crisis. Pressing that button instantly revokes every single active browser session connected to the workspace, anywhere in the world. It forces an immediate reauthentication for every user. This brute force severance kicks potential intruders out of the system. It is the fastest way to cap the exposure of an active breach. The fourth and final pillar deals with ownership, workspace data export. Massive companies fear vendor lock-in. They demand a built-in asynchronous export tool to prove that the software provider will not hold their data hostage if they decide to leave. This diagram shows that data flowing out of the vendor's control. Providing this mechanism for transparency is a requirement for major regulatory compliance standards like SOC 2 and GDPR. A kill switch and a data export tool provide guarantees. They prove to an enterprise that they retain absolute sovereignty over their own security and their own data, regardless of the software provider. Most software startups take a different route. They rush to market, offering basic consumer login features to get users through the door quickly. Building a polished application while ignoring strict role-based access control and audit logs from day one creates technical debt. It leaves a beautiful structure resting on a fragile foundation. When that startup tries to move upmarket, they attempt to bolt these security features on as an afterthought. That approach rarely survives a rigorous CISO review. This returns us to the $2,000 a month paradox. That price premium pays for this bypass-free, deeply integrated governance infrastructure. High-tier B2B enterprise software is the architecture of trust. The core application provides the utility, but the governance infrastructure provides the value.